Thank you, Sherry. For those of you who were not here 2 hours ago, the meeting has already started. Polls are open, and now we get to the fun part of the evening. First up, I introduce Tom Harrelson, who will give the treasurer's report.
Good evening, and thanks for attending our annual meeting. My name is Tom Harrelson, for those of you who haven't seen me in the hallways, and I have been treasurer of the Montebello Condominium Unit Owners Association for the past 11 months. In 2 more weeks, it'll be 12 months. All of you here tonight, along with our neighbors living here and or owning units here in Montebello, comprise our association and our family. It's a pleasure to report in 2019, the association had a very good fiscal year. Our accounting firm, the Gold Klang Group, audited our financial books and provided this analysis. Quote, in our opinion, the financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of Montebello Condominium Unit Owners Association as of December 31st, 2019, and the results of its operations and its cash flows for the years then ended in conformity with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. So we got a very good and a very clean audit report. That opinion means the association's financial statements are accurate. At the February 25th board meeting and work session, Ann Sheehan, who is the Gold Klang principal on our accounts, formally presented the audit and made these points. 1. As of December 31st, 2019, the association's total delinquent owner balances was $115,911. This is equal to less than 1% of annual assessments, which is excellent. This means that the association does not have collection problems. This is a positive financial indicator for the association. Point 2, the association collects funds from its members to pay for operating expenses and future major repairs and replacements. We recommend the association have between 10% and 20% in excess operating funds to cover unexpected operating expenses. As of December 31st, 2019, the association had $1,184,861 in the contingency reserve, which represents the association's excess operating funds. This account is like a retained earnings account and is the association's net income or loss since inception. This represents about 15% of annual assessments. Again, this is an excellent result. We ended fiscal year 2019 with a paper loss of $68,352. This is a good result because we consulted with Gold Klang in 2019 and received permission to erase the $190,000 mathematical error which has been hanging over our heads since 2017. Without the error correction, we would have had a profit in 2019. With respect to our repair and replacement reserves, the association incurred replacement reserve expenditures in 2019 of $2,763,814. As of December 31st, 2019, the association had $7,983,030 for future repair and replacement reserves and $712,738 designated for purchaser reserves. In summary, our 2019 fiscal year was very good. The association finances performed better than planned, had an operating surplus, and absent the error correction, we would have ended the year with a profit. The budgeting process for both the operating budget and the reserve budget is a team effort. The team is composed of management, George Gardner and Marco Mendoza and their staff, the Finance and Budget Committee, the Treasurer, the Board of Directors, and all of you who volunteer to serve on our numerous committees and provide us valuable input. It is your efforts and support that keeps us financially strong and increases the attractiveness and sales appeal of Montebello, which increases the value of our homes. I thank you for your support. It's been an honor serving as your treasurer for this past year. Keep up the good work.
Time out for this commercial interruption. Good evening. I'm John Candell, and for the past year, I've had the honor of serving as the president of our condo association. Tonight is the end of one Montebello year and the beginning of the next, and I want to talk about both. But first, I want to talk about Montebello. We all know that Montebello is special. Our units have larger floor plans than mostly new constructed condos. Our condos are affordable in comparison, both in purchase price and in condo fees. Many believe we are undervalued. We have great views, and we have outstanding amenities. The swimming pools, tennis courts, fitness center, bowling alley, our woodlands with the mile-long walking trail, the hair salon, the convenience store with dry cleaning, and especially the only one in the DC metro area condo restaurant, our cafe. All of this makes up what we call home. Every day, your board and our great staff work to maintain and increase its value. It has been another great year for Montebello, as you just heard from Tom, in terms of our financial strength and the progress we have made on maintaining and updating our physical plan. Our operating budget and reserve budget planning are more accurate than ever before. We have a new cash flow projection system, and our accountant now reviews all of our financial systems and policies in addition to performing the annual financial audit and preparing tax returns. Our condo fees are competitive. Our percentage of owner-occupied units remains above 75%, and our percentage of units in default is exceptionally low, under 1%. Our general reserves are more than cover the projected spending over the next several years, and our contingency reserves, the emergency fund, more than meet the standard recommended by our auditors. We have a wonderful community that is centered around our aging community center. Its activities, events, clubs, cafe, and the bar. Following are highlights of what was accomplished during the past year. Some minor projects. We completed asphalt restriping for the entire campus. We improved our tower lobbies with new artificial plants. Initiated the sanitary pipe survey project. Initiated the domestic water line survey project. Created a comprehensive building representative program that includes welcoming the new residents. Awarded the contract to landscape the front entrance hill. That will be done this spring. Established a CERT program in Montebello. That's the Community Emergency Response Team. This is a new volunteer group, and it has been added to our comprehensive emergency readiness program. Here are the major programs that we finished. We completed a crucial erosion control project to include the partial restoration of that area this spring. We completed phase 2 and phase 3 of the exterior lighting project. Completed phase 1 of the data communications network installation. That's all the new ID cards, the fobs, the cameras, the NEAT-app sensors on the vehicles, and the new front entrance gates. We completed the renovation of transition areas 1 and 2, the areas behind the parking lots, behind buildings 1 and 2. We planned and began an upgrade of the campus-wide fire alarm system, currently underway and continuing all through the summer. We completed the multi-year project to bring FiOS to Montebello. As you may have seen in your emails today, it is here. Some of the projects scheduled for the new year. We are completing a master emergency action plan for the campus. It's actually comprised of all of the current individual safety and response programs, all put together and integrated with the Fairfax County response plans. Part of this plan will be published to residents this spring. We're going to replace the indoor swimming pool season before it collapses. We're going to replace the indoor pool HVAC system. And of course, we're going to do a little bit of work on this building. And that, of course, is a project that's been 10 years in the planning process. Last year's projects were a lot of work and a lot of your money. This coming year will be a lot of work and a lot of your money. So how did we do all that? How will we do all this? Because we have good management and sound financial planning. We get that from an excellent senior staff, an outstanding workforce, and from all of you. The resident committees are the lifeblood of Montebello, and they are augmented by resident or owner input by way of surveys, focus groups, and our recently created interactive town hall meetings. I wish to identify some of those contributors. General Manager George Gardner and his outstanding staff of 60+ dedicated full and part-time employees who have a renewed emphasis on customer service. The scores of volunteer residents who comprise our standing committees, activities, Art in Montebello, communications, covenants, elections, finance and budget, grounds, neighborhood improvement, promoting Montebello, quality improvement, and the Times of Montebello. Ad hoc committees that have been producing surveys and focus groups to gather the input from residents for the community center remodeling. And that whole process was community driven. The residents and owners who attend town hall meetings and reply to our 30-second surveys, even if they take 2 minutes to fill out. Our board of directors, 3 of which we are re-electing tonight along with 2 newbies. We are assisted by a very talented support team. First Service Residential, our financial transaction vendor. Segan Mason & Mason, our corporate and condo law firm. Bob Mason, lead attorney. The Gold Clan Group, our auditors, and Sheehan, lead partner. Action Management, our election vote tabulator, who's on premises and counting as I speak. The Montebello Cafe, Lord Jose. And the hair salon with Ginny Ha. Again, I want to personally thank all of you for your contributions, especially those of you with whom I've had direct contact, as you have helped me do whatever it is I thought I was doing. Going forward, we have work to do. We are an association with a budget of over $9 million, a notable management function any year, and this year will be a bit complicated by our temporary move out of this building. We will survive the move, we will survive the construction, and have another successful year. And in mid-2021, move back into a truly awesome community center building. In closing, let me just say that it's been a privilege serving as president this year. And again, I want to thank those who contribute so much of their time, talent, energy, and effort to make Montebello a great community, a great place to live, to play, and to point proudly saying, that's my home. You blew my punchline. I was going to say, stay tuned, and we will have an announcement on which of the candidates actually won a seat on the board. Unfortunately, while that's the end of my real speech, I have another. Out of an abundance of caution and with the goal of supporting CDC guidance regarding social distancing during the novel coronavirus, otherwise known as COVID-19, that outbreak, we are taking major steps to protect the health of residents of Montebello. Our coronavirus work group has recommended to the board of directors, and the board has approved, the cancellation of all activities and social events at Montebello effective immediately. This includes the locker room, indoor pool, fitness center, bowling alley, tennis courts, party rooms, and of course, the lounge. These facilities will remain open. First, the cafe and market will remain open. To effect social distancing, the cafe tables will be spread much further apart. They will extend into the lounge, and the cafe is preparing for a greatly anticipated increase in deliveries. These orders must be paid for, including any gratuity, by credit card over the phone at the time the order is placed. No cash and no credit card receipts will change hands at the residence unit doorway. Second, the hair salon will stay open. Social distancing obviously does not work in a barbershop environment. Residents have to take ownership of their own health situation and decide for themselves the pros and cons of coming in for hair service. Third, the office will remain open. We urge residents who need to contact the office to consider a phone call rather than a visit. In lieu of social distancing at the service desk, a clear plexiglass shield will be hung from the ceiling to provide a barrier between the resident and Hutch or Tracy or Aja or whoever happens to be manning the desk at the time. That's for the safety of the staff members and of the residents. The locker room bathrooms will still be usable, since a number of you seem to prefer using that one instead of this one. Committee meetings and club gatherings are also canceled. If a committee wants to conduct business and can do so via telephone, a conference call can be arranged by contacting the office. Our coronavirus work group will review the status of Montebello's activities and operations daily, and will periodically update the community on the status of activities and day-to-day operations. Certainly for the next week, we're going to bury you with paper under the doors. And to pat the work group and management and the board on the back, I must report to you that yesterday, an executive vice president of First Service Residential, who sat in on a work group meeting, told us that of all his condo clients, Montebello is by far the leader in planning for the virus and the safety of its residents. This morning, we had to contact the Fairfax County Department of Health, and in asking some questions, we told them everything we are doing. They were stunned by our strategizing and our protocols. They know of no other condo that has done so much to protect its residents. We have one further announcement. We have an elderly resident with underlying health issues who recently returned from overseas and did spend some days in a city that has been affected by the virus. After returning to Montebello, this resident developed respiratory symptoms, and out of an abundance of caution, self-quarantined, as there was a chance that he or she actually acquired the virus. As of today, he or she appears to be recovering from whatever he or she had, and that's good. The important takeaway here is what he did or what she did. Had a symptom, stayed home, called his doctor, her doctor. Don't leave your unit. The virus is spreading in Northern Virginia. It is now more imperative than ever that everyone practice correct behavior. No handshake, no physical contact with others, hand washing done correctly and done often, disinfecting inside your units. If we follow all the protocols, we will all benefit. Once again, correct hand washing. I've been saying it so many times to you. Correct hand washing is soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Does everybody know what 20 seconds is? Twice.
But he says twice.
Do so every time you return to your unit, no matter if you are coming from the outside world or from your neighbor's unit. Do so periodically when you are in your unit, because you've already brought the virus in. You carried it in on packages, on everything else that walks into your unit. You washed your hands, that's great, but an hour later you're touching stuff and you're gonna pick the virus up again. Go wash again. Newspapers and the U.S. mail, for example, are handled by numerous people before they even get to Montebello. So you have to periodically disinfect your unit. Wipe down the surfaces you use the most. Kitchen counter, the table where you drop everything when you come in. Possibly the couch that you veg on for 3 hours every night. To aid you, in coming days, we will be distributing information on how to do that effectively. And that's all I have to say about the virus.
Did you mention shuttle?
The shuttle bus will remain in operation. The shuttle bus is cleaner than the metro. Okay. And now I will sit here and twiddle my thumbs. Ah, she is there. You're hiding. Elaine Miller, do you have election results?
Yes. 24% of the ownership voted. The percentages are as follows. Jack Quick, 32.3001. Bill Frank, 32.1730. Tom Harrelson, 31.3126. Jane Ann Gleason, 27.7622. Doug Kennett, 27.6281. And on the deferred assessment resolution, yes, the yes vote was 34.86%. No, 38.86%, and the no vote was 1.379%. Congratulations to all 5 of you.
That concludes the evening. There will be a later event in the spring, in the summer, whenever we are back in operation, to do what normally would have been the celebration section, the awards, certificates, stuff like that. And yes, we will have finger food. Other than that, we are done for the evening. The candidates who got elected need to come up here for a photo.